Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. A reminder, as always, guys, there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Happy Thursday, guys. We are getting closer to the end of the week, not quite there, but I hope that you all enjoyed it thus far. Obviously, there's been quite a bit of opportunity and volatility, at least in the trenches, right? I mean, I look at Bitcoin and ETH, we're probably chopping around the same prices as outside of Monday. I think Monday we pumped. Tuesday, Wednesday, we kind of chopped and pulled back a little bit. But regardless, I think we can all kind of see pretty much every major asset in crypto that hasn't quite broken out or hasn't quite had their second leg higher yet. Of course, Beta, as we know, had its first move off the local lows 1 or 2 weeks ago, but we're really pressing up against these ceilings right now. And so it does feel like, I'm going to use this term, inflection points, at least, and we are heading in an uptrend into these inflection points. That is the context that we are working off of right now, just kind of waiting for, that giant green dildo that we all know this market is capable of producing to potentially, make its way into our purview. And of course, we look at equities and we can kind of already see that sort of dynamic starting with something like NVIDIA. But before we talk, I think about more granular charts, some of these tickers. I mean, you guys know what I'm going to ask you. You know what Max and I are going to ask you, and you know what Jackus is going to ask you when he gets to this stream.
He's not going to ask. He's not
He's
going
not
to
going
ask.
to ask. You're right,
He's
but
going to
he
be
will.
bad.
He will deny you alpha if we don't get them. Which, by the way, I realized in my opening spiel I forgot to introduce the panel, but hopefully you guys know us by now. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Matt. Oh, I'm joined by Max, and of course, Jackus will be joining us here in a little bit as well. But yeah, I mean, you know how Jackus is with the likes, guys. So if you could hit that like button before he gets here, maybe you even impress him enough into to cooking you guys up some alpha today. But either way, you guys know that we are going to bring our A game to the show today and cook you up as much as you can possibly eat. I mean, maybe your appetite isn't quite there on a Thursday, but I hope to see it in the like button either way. All right, enough waffling. Let's talk about charts. It's kind of like I said at the introduction of the show, right? I mean, Bitcoin specifically is really pressing up against some of these highs and some of these previous levels of resistance that, I mean, if you look back on the chart for the last 5 or 6 months, not only is this kind of we made our first higher high, I think about a week or two ago, but this is the first time that it really feels as though that we are threatening not just to break this downtrend, because I think that we've already more or less done that, but to really have that God candle out of a structure like this in a way that doesn't give any retest, right? Like, this is the spot and this is the week, as we've been saying, for a candle like that to arrive. I think we're all just kind of waiting on it to actually manifest. And I continue to believe the market where that is most likely to occur in is going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance still reflects this. Obviously, we've had some pullbacks throughout the week. They've been a lot more pronounced on altcoins, but Bitcoin just remains kind of this relentless grind up higher towards 68K, 69K. And then I think when you start grinding into 70K, you're running out of territory. And that's when I would be looking for some sort of God candle to manifest. But as far as where we're located, we're not far away from that on the chart. Absolutely not. And Beta, we took the onus a few weeks ago to run, but they're all looking for obviously their next moves higher as well, and they're pressing up against ceilings, right? I look at something like Solana pressing up against 160, BNB pressing up against 600. I mean, the list goes on and on, so I won't bore you with the list. I'm sure we'll look at them. It's literally probably our trading view list, but before I pass the mic, I'm being asked for some astrology alpha. I was looking at the moon last night, by the way. After I got back from dinner, I went back outside to relish in the beauty of the moon because it was so big and bright. Yesterday was a supermoon, and it was a super moon in my sign. But I don't have any alpha for you other than the fact that astrology gets really bullish in mid-November. Mid-November, you can put it on your calendar. There are 2 dates specifically that I won't give away until we get closer, but in mid-November, you're going to have some obscenely bullish astrology by my understanding. That's your out.
So does it have to do with the moon, or is this like some other retrograde stuff with planets?
It's less about the moon, more about the planets.
And that's within 3 to 4 weeks.
Basically.
Okay.
I think it's like the 19th, maybe like 3 or 4 days before that, but it's like right after the election.
Who could have foreseen?
I know.
What
right?
a weird time. New president takes office and then bullish astrology. Okay. Well, yeah, man. I pinged you in the BB Discord last night. I was driving and I looked up and I just saw like the biggest moon that I've ever seen just glaring at me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Tommy needs to consult on what this means." So, all right, it was a super moon. But we didn't super moon on the super moon. We kind of have just been pinned here a little bit. But I agree, like you said 70K. I don't remember exactly what you said, but basically the spirit of what you said was if you get over 70K, things get really bullish really quickly, right? And you're probably going to just, even this week, if it happens, you're going to gap up pretty quickly. But it is Thursday already, right? It is Thursday. Oh my gosh. Volatility
Still in a range.
I think my favorite one there is either not out of the woods yet or next move will be telling. That's just basically code to say I'm sidelined. Those two expressions.
Make it or break it here, guys.
Welcome, Chef. We were just talking about the super moon from last night. Did you happen to see the moon yesterday?
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. Today is going to be beautiful again. The sky is clear in Czech, so I was enjoying it. I actually, for once, didn't have a beer yesterday, but had a wine.
What?
And
Wow.
yeah.
Jackus.
Yeah.
From which country did your wine originate from? Italian?
Czech.
Oh, it's Czech wine.
As I said, Czech is the perfect crossover of beer, wine, and vodka. The only place you get all three.
So everyone in Czech has a drinking problem because the liquor is so good. They have a lot of choices. So
Because of the government, for sure. That's the
because
liquor
you
problem.
guys can't stand your publicly elected officials, so you drink away your disappointment.
Yeah, basically. And when I have to spend 1 hour in the traffic in the morning, like that triggers me too. So I have to go home and just have a nice beer and be like, everything's fine, things are not broken.
That's real. No, I had some barbecue last night, Jackus, under the moonlight. Barbecue and a beer. Barbecue.
That
Some
sounds
real
really nice.
American.
That sounds. Were you with your wife?
I was.
Yeah, barbecue under the moonlight. That sounds really romantic, Tommy.
Well, we weren't eating it quite under the moonlight, but when we stepped outside, like boom, there's the moon. So I made it sound a little bit more romantic than it was. But
You're
it was still
downplaying
daytime.
it. I think it was romantic. I think you're downplaying it.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. Tommy's a romantic, and he's a good dancer too.
Oh man,
He's a good dancer. Yeah. By the way, usually we have like the little intro and outro song, and you guys can't see him yet, but I can. But I can see it. There's like a small mini version of all of us, and I see Tommy like dancing in the corner, bobbing his head, and then the show starts, and he's like, "Good morning, good evening, good afternoon," and then he gets into it. But he's a dancer and a romantic, and Chef is an unbothered range trader, the 25-year-old technical analyzer with blood. The eyes are the best part about that.
The red eyes.
And like how he's smiling through the pain. Like his teeth are just huge. And he's like, this is fine. and he hasn't slept in like 2 days. Yeah.
He's
think we've
watching the
all
1 minute
probably-
time frame.
We've all probably felt like that guy at some point over the last few years.
Bro, I am that guy, but I just fight it, because we're all think about it, like most of the time the markets are not doing anything, right? They're like sitting sideways. So you're always just like, all right, like big move is coming, like here comes the volatility. Then you're like, but there's a level above us that could get hit, like not out of the woods quite. You don't say it because you're gonna look like a clown, but inside of all of us fully deployed American patriots, there's a little bit of the 25-year-old technical analyzer. Always.
Well, I think it's come out over the last like 6 or 7 months, a little bit out of everybody, because when you're ranging for this long in such a range that doesn't seem to respect any levels until it does, it's like,
Yes.
oh, well, eventually when you're in month 5 or 6, it's like, well, I have to respect this level now, don't I?
dude, and Tommy, the best one was lose this level and it's lights out. When we were in Q3, when we were down like sub 55K 3 different times, it was like lose this level and it's lights out, and that was the truth. It was true, and none of us, like, bro, my eyes were bloodshot. Like I was not sleeping. I was like, if we lose this level, everything is going to shit.
I remember when it was August 5th, during that whole flash crash. I mean, I think it was Tucker, me, and Wabi that were staying up till like 5 in the morning because everybody was panicking.
Dude, I remember I was in Europe when this was happening. So I'm like jet lagged, sleep deprived, Andy nuked from like 200 mil down to like 100 mil or less, like off. It was like 70 mil. And I'm just like, I'm watching everything I love fall apart right in front of me right now. And I'm in Europe, and like I can't even like jump on the calls and talk to the guys. And then my eyes were bloodshot. I was like, funny times, man. We will look back on all these times. I remember how I felt because we document everything so well. Like sometimes I'll look back on like screenshots on my phone or like old streams and just be like, I remember that day so well. Like I look at the chart. It's like the same phenomenon where you ever hear a song from like middle school and it like brings you back to how you felt during middle school.
Yes.
That's when I
Yeah.
look at the Bitcoin chart, I'm like, that was a tough time for me.
All life documented on the Bitcoin chart is real.
Dude,
It is.
It's so
Now,
real.
I like what you just described is something that I have thought about, unfortunately, a lot. Right? Like you look at the Bitcoin chart, and I could tell you exactly what I was doing, or like generally that week, I could tell you exactly what I was doing, what the market seemed like, altcoins, everything.
Yeah. It's timestamps your life, like
Yeah.
if you look at it enough, it bookmarks your life. So anyways, we're gonna bookmark our life right now because we're about to rip. So the title of today's show is Higher Prices Are Inevitable. And on that note, we're going to end the show because that's all the information that you need to know. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We're going higher. That's it.
I was about to check.
You're just gonna stare.
Yeah. All right, let's share some charts though. We'll explain why. So I think it potentially comes next week. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys why. All right. So here's Russian Ponzi ETH. Okay. Here's Russian Ponzi ETH. So we're gonna pull up a few different. Let's see here. ETH, USDT. I'm into dates quite a bit because if you've been in crypto long enough, you'll know that like it can get a little bit spooky how the dates line up sometimes. And you just kind of have to go with it. Like how cycles will last the exact same amount of time and breakouts will happen on the same day, but like years apart, So if we look at like our bottom reaccumulation range right here on ETH, for one, we're in here. Okay. But when did the breakout really happen? In October of last year. So right here was Monday, October 23rd. So this was October 23rd, 2023. Oops, that's not a 0. 2023. Okay. So all I'm saying is that it's October 17th right now, and this is effectively the same level on the chart. So I'm really thinking it's possible that we could just see like the same, middle of next week, or maybe it happens before. But this is October 23rd, 2024. The chart to me is very, very similar. What's that? Oh, I might have just heard an echo. I didn't know if somebody said something to me. But I think it's just going to happen next week. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it goes up before that. But I mean, I look at this and I'm just like, yeah, it's probably just going to happen next week at this point. It's Thursday. I'm happy if they send it up this week, but sometimes how the dates line up is really spooky, and even looking at like the structure here, it's not exactly the same, but there's so many similarities in this chart, right? And then we could even go back. I think there's another one here. Let's go back to move chart back. Move chart back. Let's go even further back here. And I'm pretty sure in 2020 we had the same date also. I'm going to get rid of these drawings. Oh my gosh, what is all of this? I don't know if we need this, so we're going to save it. Okay, so October 23rd, October 23rd. And now let's take a look at this range in 2020. So there's also even more similarities with this chart right here than 2023. But this is essentially your level right here. And this move right here, when we finally broke out, was October 22nd. So this was October 22nd, 2020. So it's basically like in the start of the third week of October, we have seen the sort of October seasonality finally take hold. So I think it's just going to be a next week thing. I don't know if you guys, Tommy and Jack, is subscribed to like the dates matter thing in crypto, but I'd say I don't really believe in coincidences. I think it's just something we need to acknowledge. I know some of the tech bros will be like, it's simulation theory confirmed. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's kind of spooky. If you've been in crypto for a while, you know how important dates actually are, but I don't know if you guys agree or not.
You want to begin, Tommy? You want to begin, Tommy?
No, I mean, I can. I don't know if I put as much on like specific dates year over year, but I think generally like there's a reason behind similar price action occurring year over year, right? Because of obviously Q4, favorable liquidity inflows. Stocks tend to be trading much higher during Q4, which has a positive effect on crypto, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if I have any thoughts on like to the exact day, but no, I'm in the camp that you're going to see moves higher soon if we're going to get them, especially looking at Bitcoin, because I think you're running out of room to be pressing up into.
So you're saying volatility is incoming?
You made me the 25-year-old technical analyzer, not me.
Yep. You were always the 25-year-old analyzer. It was in you.
Well, I think that dates definitely matter, because if they did not, we wouldn't have stuff like seasonality, right? And seasonality does work for a reason. But at the same time, it shouldn't be viewed as one-to-one. So like, hopefully I do hope that this time it works just the same with the breakout. But if it doesn't mean much, right? Like things can get ahead sometimes. Things can get postponed a little. So what I'm talking about, we saw all-time high this cycle being hit on Bitcoin ahead of the schedule, right? So are we behind the schedule right now? Not historically, really, right? Maybe locally we are lagging now, but like historically we are not so far from the schedule. We just went there ahead, and now it's taking more time to reaccumulate. What about the September drop, right? We had that in August, right? In September we also had a down move, but September ended up bullish then. I was discussing this live. And so Q4 is historically very bullish, and it's for a reason. But just because and it was the same as October, right? We were saying October is historically the best month for Bitcoin on median. And we had first 2-week drop in the markets in October, and everyone was, every delusional bear promised you 40K. He promised you, October, Rectober. And guess what? We said, don't be scared of first days of October, dropping. That's the monthly wick. And look where we are now. Monthly candle is nicely bullish, far above monthly open. And we are printing. So seasonality, the dates definitely do matter. Do I think it's going to be on the same day? I hope it starts today. Are we bullish? Fuck yeah, we are bullish, man. And everyone telling you otherwise is lying. Like, there's always people that, they'll be saying it's bearish all the time. Sometimes they'll get lucky, it works. And just because all the data, all the stats, all the probabilities are pointing up, even then I've learned in the markets it can sometimes fail. But, would you rather choose to be hopeful for 40K or would you follow the data? And yeah, I mean, Max is showing it as it is, right? Just bullish.
It's hard to look at this chart. You mentioned the monthly. It's hard to look
Yeah.
at this and want to get bearish.
I want you to produce will and zoom out even more on this quarterly.
Even more.
More.
All right. Oh my. Oh my.
Are you bearish, Anon?
Dude, that is crazy.
Volatility incoming.
Look at this. Look at that chart.
Time to pay attention.
Oh my gosh.
Make it or break it here for bears. Lose this level.
Bears
and
are
it's
going to
lights
lose
on.
everything. They're going to lose everything. And they deserve it. It's tough to make a living being a pessimist. It's very tough.
Yeah, it's just the hard part is really sitting on your hands and waiting for it, and we would all love that, right? And if you want to blame someone, that blame the fucking Democratic Leftard Party in the US, right? They are taking this, like, we could have gotten the regulatory clarity half a year ago. Instead, they are taking it all the way to the elections, right? One party is telling you they will give you a regulatory clarity while they had 4 years to set regulatory clarity. Something about that. So they are postponing it. We could have pumped already after the August drop, straight up. They are postponing it, but nothing has changed.
So I'm kind of the opinion that the election, Bitcoin going up is inevitable, regardless of who wins. And we know that historically markets have performed comparably, if not actually slightly better with Democrats in office. There's not a ton of data for crypto, right? So it's, maybe crypto's different, but equities at least. Do you guys think that if Trump wins, we will get a bigger, more aggressive bull market, or doesn't really matter? And again, I don't want to get political. That's not what we're doing here. Okay. but we are talking about an event that
No,
will
Max.
impact markets potentially. So that's the only angle we're taking. We're not going to get political, but do you guys think that Trump being clearly, even if it's just to get votes, overwhelmingly bullish crypto and actually starting a crypto business, which I'm indifferent on what happens there at this point, but do you guys think that Trump winning would just immediately like God candle us? And
I
if
do not
Kamala
know.
wins, it would be the opposite, or does it not matter to you?
I do not think if it's straight up God candle us, but it definitely does matter. Like saying that politics doesn't matter on charts is dumb, because it obviously does. The markets are looking for it. They are trying to price in who wins, right? We are seeing moves based on it. We are seeing, as Trump leads, we are seeing IWM appreciate. And that's for a reason, because these people have different policies and they are representative in the charts in different sectors. It's quite clear that people, that are in institutions are watching it. They have capital and they are bidding. We can speculate to what degree, and I agree, it's always on a scale, but saying it doesn't matter is plain stupid. That's what it is. So it does matter.
Yeah, I think to add on that, I think to say that it doesn't matter who wins this election at this point, because they've kind of like, I would generally agree if, because markets are inherently tied to liquidity, it doesn't matter. But I think when you have two candidates that have fundamentally approached their handling of crypto in such a different way, it in my opinion is cognitive dissonance to say that it doesn't matter, right? Like you're just ignoring the evidence over the last 4 years. And even if, like Jack has said, it's just, or like you said, Max, that it's just one side cozying up to get votes, that's still a stark difference from somebody openly opposing crypto at basically every step, working to get or having a hand and ensuring that crypto's largest banks for onboarding effectively go out of business. I don't know. I just don't think there's really any evidence that supports that it doesn't matter who wins. I would say from after they're elected, yes, liquidity will go up. I think because Trump's odds have swung so favorably in his corner over the last few weeks, which is something that we were talking about on our Discord over, when I got back, that we expected those odds to get more and more skewed. And that will probably continue into November 11th. One, the market will start to price it in more aggressively, as we're already seeing with crypto right now. But also, two, if Trump somehow does not win, the market would have a very adverse reaction to that. That's not something that I think is going to happen, but I do think that that's just based on the way that the odds are swinging. You're starting to see more and more people positioned for Donald Trump to win. And I do think that that would be a tailwind for the markets initially, a big tailwind, maybe into the back half of 2025, maybe it's into 2026. But I do think as a whole, Trump's policies are probably going to be a little bit more hawkish than Kamala's or Kamala's over the 3 or 4 year period. But I do think the initial run up and reflexivity of a Donald Trump election would be very bullish for markets.
I will add one more thing, and I think this was a great take, Tome. And I think that regardless of who wins, obviously, I think the prices will go up, right? But the degree will differ, of course. And I think that both parties, I think Trump was front running this, but I realized that so many Americans, I think like the latest poll is like 49%. I'm not sure to what degree is that right, but 49% of Americans said that they own crypto to some degree or through some, through some instrument. So that's a big, water base. And 62% of those 49% said that they would consider voting the other side if they are for crypto. And we saw Trump began playing that card. And obviously we know that Trump doesn't really like understand most of it, likely. It's his advisors doing the due diligence and telling him to do so. And I think the other party realized that as well. And after being against crypto for the past 4 years, because they saw that that's the way to go, or they just wanted to keep the prices down until then, whatever was the case. In any way, the reality is that either who wins, I think crypto prices go up. But if Trump wins, I just think they go up higher because of his stances lately and the way the market views it. Yeah, and this is a great fucking point too, that Max is currently cooking on.
So I'm just showing you guys quickly here. Like you can very easily see what has happened. The dates are pretty close here. But as soon as Trump started to pull away in Polymarket odds, you can see that the market has responded favorably. All right. So, I mean, I would say that at this point, there is data. It's limited, right? We only have a few weeks worth of data, but you can see when he started to pull away in late September, early October, you can see how the Bitcoin price has responded to Trump being priced in as our next president versus Kamala. So, I mean, I'm just going to use the data, right? It's not a political thing. It's just, hey, markets seem to want Trump, right? This is the best representation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, look, I felt like we touched on all the points, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Bitcoin would go up regardless of who wins, but I think for that altcoin dispersion that I know we're all looking for, and that most people these days tend to enter crypto for, is probably coming with only one candidate.
I mean, I just want markets to go up. That's it. That's all I want. I just want markets to go up. That's literally it.
I will say you're probably going to get on the election a pretty massive crush in volatility. So whichever way we're trending into the election, I'd just kind of be like, wait, I'd be betting we fade it. In the week leading up to the election, if like we're going up or we're going down, you're probably going to see volatility get crushed. So, and there's a lot to that. I think mostly because like front end volatility is way more elevated specifically because of the election. So options are more expensive. And when you see those positions kind of roll off the board, in equities, when we see volatility get crushed, it usually means that we're going to dip. Volatility will dip, and obviously the market will go higher. In crypto, what that usually means is if you're crushing volatility, you're probably going to pull back a little bit. But that would also be the assumption that crypto could be ripping into the election too. So we'll see what happens. But
one more thing that I wanted to ask you guys. Trump promised that on day one he will fire Gary Gensler. Do you think it's going to happen? Second, how do you think the market would react?
I don't know if he'll actually do it. I hope he does. I think the market would react very favorably to that.
I think it's a very easy promise for him to keep if he wants to do it. But keep in mind that wouldn't take effect until January when he actually takes office. So he would win in November. We have November, December. We've got 60 days at least until that could happen. So
I would like that. I agree with Ben because it favors my positioning.
Study fitting your own bias.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it will. I think it matters. I mean, just looking at the data, it clearly matters, right? So if you're a single issue voter, you have to look at this and just go, if I'm only concerned with my bags, what's the best outcome for me? And again, you shouldn't vote only because you care about crypto going up, but if you are going to vote only based on crypto going up, well, then here you go, right?
Yeah.
And altcoins, I think, would get the biggest lift because Gary's not coming after Bitcoin like he is altcoins. Gary hates altcoins.
Some people get really upset. Some people get really upset when you
Do you
say
think so?
when you say you're a single issue voter of going off of crypto, but we won't discuss that. But yeah, I think this is a good spot to pivot to some other assets, maybe some other altcoins, crypto, or maybe we talk about equities, which look absolutely incredible right now. The S&P does look like 6,000 has a magnet on it at this point. It'd be very difficult for me to see it not reach that level before a meaningful pullback at this point.
Tommy, would you be able to show what you're looking at? Let's get Tommy, can you Tommy the chart for me? I want you to
Yes.
take it disrespectfully and with force, if you could.
Yes, I can do that. Let me do that. All right. Let's look at the S&P. Why don't we? Oh, I got to share my screen, don't I?
You need to Tommy it.
I swear that everyone in the team Tommy's better than Tommy himself.
It makes no sense why we call it Tommying the chart.
No, but it stays.
But it will stay forever.
I mean, this is the greatest Ponzi ever created. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is.
You mean the fiat system pumping liquidity?
Correct. I mean, this is a market cycle, isn't it? You had consolidation, deviation below the range. Now we're having another super cycle. Or, I mean, you could, if you really want to, you can call the entire history of the chart a super cycle, but for the purposes of this, we're gonna talk about, or for the purposes of what we can fit on the chart, this is a super cycle. This is kind of how I've been viewing the S&P lately. And I know you can't really do that because it's an index, and obviously they have constantly moving components, but this is kind of how I'm viewing it right now. Where's our arc? I don't use this thing very often. Is it the curve or the arc? I guess we're about
I like
to find
the
out.
curve, personally.
Oh, this is not it. Oh no. The curve. Yeah, I think you were right on that. Right, but we're very clearly in parabola at this point.
Guys,
do I know where it
what
tops?
likes we
Absolutely
at?
not.
Wait, Tommy. We need to ask the question. What likes we at? Is it a soybean chart? Because Tommy is about to cook you something, guys. Are you appreciating that? Are you panic liking right now? That's the real question.
Are they panic liking? Probably not, but let's see how
I
many
have to
we're
check.
at. 186. Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, friends.
Oh no.
I've never had to do this to him before.
Tommy himself putting a soybean chart. We never had that.
Wow.
Oh no.
This thing is cooked. By the way.
Wow.
When do we become bullish on this chart? At this point, does it need to like run those lows? Probably.
We should add to the 25-year-old technical analyzer the sweep equal lows.
Yeah.
Looks like ETH. I appreciated that
Either-
comment. I guess it kind of looks like ETH after it topped, doesn't it, in 2021? Big high, deviant high, downtrend. Maybe this is bottoming then. I don't know. I hate
I
that
had
you guys
a-
have been doing TA on soybeans though. 217,
Yeah.
make it stop. We're almost there. Get to 240 and I'll stop. I'm not as greedy with the like button.
Come on, Tommy. Don't put yourself down. We are Versi.
Well, at least there's
Two-
one
two-
asset that he
250.
goes up against.
270. Oh my god.
If you're a soybean enjoyer, oh, I'm sorry. This chart looks terrible. All right, I'm gonna assume that you guys did the needful with the
They did
lights. I
not.
can only look at
They did
soybeans
not.
for so long.
They
They
did
did.
not.
Oh my god. Well, if they want more alpha beyond this, then
They don't. They want to look at soybeans. They like the soybeans. That's the
Alright,
problem.
look
Is
at
it? You need to pay for rubber futures because they don't like rubber futures. But
1 second chart, rubber futures.
oh man.
it's over.
Orange juice is too generous. Orange juice is too generous.
Yeah, we're just doing random pairs now. The torture you guys. What the heck? Why does this look good? This reminds me of the PopCat chart. And I said that yesterday about something else I know before somebody calls me out, but this really does look like the PopCat chart. All right, I've hit my personal limit for soybeans, so I'm going to switch back to the S&P.
Tommy likes the patience. The patient for likes.
I can't look at soybeans for more than like 2 minutes.
Wow, what a super chat though.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Whoa. Thank you. Hey, BB team, for your gold membership, do you make calls on tickers before they pump? And if so, usually around what market cap? More like 1 million? Well, I mean, I guess so in the Discord, we play a lot more micro caps than we talk about here on YouTube. We've got we have a micro cap channel that we call the Trenches. So if you're into that, you will definitely love the Discord because there's a lot of guys that exclusively trade micro caps. So yeah, I would say that if you're looking for more micro cap plays, we don't talk about them on YouTube because it's kind of a tough situation. People, they like to clip it, the projects will clip it, and then they like say, oh, because Bitcoin is talking about us, and then it looks like a big endorsement when we want to be able to like trade in and out of these sometimes just in an intimate way without having to, if we talk about it here, people may get the wrong idea. So yeah, we definitely get into the trenches and into the shitters a lot more in the Discord. It's a more intimate, safe setting for us. So yeah, I would say if you're looking for that, you'd probably find a lot of value in the trenches for sure. And you can sign up for the gold membership with crypto if you would like to do that. So thank you so much for the super chat. That was super generous. Thank you very much. Incredibly nice.
Just kind of drawing lines now. The greatest Ponzi on earth, guys. The S&P, the NASDAQ, US stock indices. I have no idea where this ends, by the way. I'm just kind of highlighting really like we broke out of 15-year consolidation and we've just been Like this is more slow grind. I think now we're entering parabola. There is a case for like melt up within the next few years, probably before 2030, if I had to guess, from financial markets. I don't know what that means for fiat currency as a whole. Obviously, we've kind of talked about some of our own theories, but like that's a crazy looking chart. I really don't know where this ends necessarily. I really don't.
I said this earlier, Tommy. It's a really tough way to make a living being a pessimist. Being an equity market bear is a tough way to make a living.
Yeah. The thing I'm watching here now that we have the S&P looking like this is obviously volatility. And I have this marked out because I do think like into the election, that's probably going to be a spot where you see volatility get really crushed after this. Going into it, maybe it elevates, but I think in general, I mean, you guys can see the broader trend of this asset. It's negatively correlated to the S&P. I mean, you can kind of illustrate it more easily with the VIX because it has a floor. But with the VIX, I do think you could get into a scenario, and we've talked about this on this show before. Like if we are about to if we're somewhere in here, and I know Max has talked about this, right? Like the tech bubble, we saw the VIX and volatility staying elevated above 20 and even 30 at times throughout this move higher. So at what point does this moving higher also start to affect volatility? Because I bring this up because I do think that volatility is bottomed on a higher time frame, and the lows that we set, I can't remember if it was at the
Let me
start
ask
of
you
this
about
year.
that. Sorry, Tommy. Let me ask you. When you say volatility, are you referring to the VIX being
Yes.
bottomed higher time frame, basically like not going below 10, or are you thinking that like locally not below like 15 or something like that?
You will not see volatility trade below this, in my
So
opinion, for the
10,
rest of the cycle.
but a VIX crush down to, what is that, 11, or I don't know where you have that bottomed. That would still send markets a lot higher, right?
Yes.
A ton higher.
Yes, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Like we could be in a scenario where like this, maybe you get a pullback initially, but the higher the S&P goes, eventually that's going to create a squeeze on positioning that will also lift volatility. So like you could have this ripping as well as volatility. I know it's something Chem Carson's wrong chart. I know that's something Chem Carson's talked about. We haven't really seen it yet this cycle, but I think we did maybe in here before the drop. But usually when you see volatility rising with price, you get the opportunity for, obviously, I mean, we've seen some very outsized pullbacks in equities from volatility spikes just because of how people long equities and short volatility in a very correlated fashion, we'll just say. But as we saw here, you get a lot of these big spikes on volatility, 10, 20% corrections and a parabola, which is ultimately where it does feel like the S&P is headed. And I will zoom out one final time and say, I don't know where this ends. I really don't. But given this context,
oh my gosh, another one,
wow.
Miguel, that's too generous. That is, Miguel. If you join the Discord via gold membership, hit me up when you're in there. We'll get you a free BB Academy, man. That's $200 today. So if you join the Discord, you're gonna get a free BB Academy. Okay, thank you so much. Dude, who is this guy? Like this cat guy? Like, is this the funny accent
he's
guy?
some shitcoin dev, I'm pretty sure.
I bet he'll rug it. I'll bet he's gonna rug.
He has the Max. He has the stream inverted.
Yeah, he does. Dude, this guy, he's got such a funny accent too. I don't know where he's from, but yeah, dude, look at this. Like, I don't understand. He kind of rubs me like he would be a guy that would convince people to buy Bitcoin puppets and then dump all of his puppets on you even though they're going to 4 Bitcoin each. That's the kind of vibes I get from this guy. Sketchy. Maybe we should invite him on the show.
Maybe we should.
Hey, Chimp, if you want to come on the show, just let me know. All right. Send me a DM. We can make fun of your funny accent. All right.
I mean, really, the only thing you can do to try and feel out of top with the S&P is look at like previous asset bubbles in history, and even they don't really look as bullish as.
So, Tommy, if we're talking about the idea of
this one went crazy,
if we want to try to compare the .com bubble to either crypto or even where stocks are currently, do you think it's a comparable? Do you think that sentiment is comparable and it's going to be catalyzed by, a layer of money being added to the internet, i.e. crypto or AI? Or is it a combination of both? Are we going to see the same sort of PE expansion in equities and froth in shitcoins and shitcoins because of this new tech? Or are we just kind of trying to attach the .com bubble to where we're at right now because we're bullish? Or do you really think that there's the catalyst to back up these valuations that we're hoping for?
Well, I think it depends on like the landscape, right? Is fiat currency like failing or whatever, or is it just kind of run of the mill? People just allocating to assets that they like. Because I do think the end game for crypto, as much as we don't want to talk about it, Max Payne is that crypto bros are right, and that fiat, it will eventually fail. And that is when, I mean, you will see crypto assets probably do really well if that were to occur. But I think that crypto can appreciate substantially. I don't know if it's quite in the tech bubble phase of its adoption curve, but I do think, and I do feel pretty strongly about this, because at some point in the next few years, this will probably top out for a long time, right? Probably over a decade, as we saw here. I mean, it topped out for 15 years. When that happens, I think there's going to be a large scale flight of capital out of US markets and into cryptocurrencies because they are that non-sovereign money. That's literally the use case. When people want to leave potentially a failing economy, maybe it's failing real estate. That's what happened in Chinese markets last year. That's something that a lot of people don't really talk about. One of the things that helped create our ETF pump last October was the fact that the Chinese real estate market was failing, and that capital fled directly to crypto. And obviously, I mean, very much helped boost the liquidity that we had over the next few months. So I do think that you will see this market will get oversaturated at some point. Maybe it's because the stocks that are leading the market higher can no longer justify the valuations. And I don't think we're there yet, right? PE ratios are what, like 20? I think in the tech bubble, they were probably double that.
More, triple.
Triple than that? Yeah. I mean, I think you can see the Mag 7 stocks absolutely continue to rip and continue to outperform. You look at something like NVIDIA. I mean, that's a chart, right? Yes, it's a parabola, but look at that monthly.
I mean, are we in price discovery now or really close?
We're really close. We might be there like tomorrow at this rate, but
because it looks like it's re-entering or trying to re-enter parabola,
yeah,
which is crazy because it's, I mean, I guess it's justifiable, right? Like there is a tremendous amount of utility in this company, but NVIDIA has really been like your proxy for like large cap risk on for the past 2 years. And it's about to enter price discovery again. And then, of course, in the other side of that, you also have small caps looking like they're about to, as a collective, go into price discovery. The Russell, which we know and we care about as crypto guys, is really important because Bitcoin has never gone into price discovery without the Russell also going into price discovery, usually about a week or two before. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's really close. So IWM couldn't look much stronger to me. Like this looks like it's about to just like gap up. You know, it's vertically accumulating into the previous all-time high distribution. Looks really good in my view, which of course is good for crypto.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I mean, I am, I guess it's early cycle still by this definition, right? If IWM is about to rip and you have Mag 7 stocks that could potentially rip significantly higher too, I would consider that early cycle still. I think about how much some of this stuff has already gotten bid. I guess I'm wondering, like where's if IWM is breaking out at the same time as the Mag 7, how does that work? Because we just haven't seen that yet this cycle. Specifically because the positioning underlying that trade, we've talked about it. It's like people are very short small caps and they're very long big tech. So they usually don't go up together. If we see both ripping together, and if that occurs, how does that look and for how long? I'm very curious to see how these next few months look. But we're pressing into the ceilings again. If it's going to happen, it should be happening soon. Or else, God, are we going to range more? I can't even imagine. But I mean, Mag 7 stocks look fantastic. IWM looks fantastic. And then over in crypto, I mean, you can see it over there too, right? Bitcoin looks fantastic. And of course, I think ultra high beta like meme coins look great as well. So it looks, I mean, the profiles are very similar, crypto to equities. I want to see it, right? We haven't seen it yet all cycle where they're just kind of all spontaneously popping off together, like IWM ripping with the NASDAQ with Mag 7. But yeah, I mean, if there's a time, the charts say it's going to be soon.
October 22nd to 23rd, boys. It's time. Third week of October. It's this idea of like, did you short below the October monthly open, Anon?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that took that bait. A lot of people. Here, I'm going to Tommy the chart. Disrespectfully, of course. Just stole it right out from underneath you. But if we look at Bitcoin here, here's the October open, right? Here's the October open. It's always possible, of course, to see some retest of the open, right? Like you took the bait. Here was the October open. It started right here, right? That was October 1. You chop below it. Oh, Rectober, it's over. October, whatever. And we've blasted off since then. So it is still on the table. Like coming down into retest this, I suppose. I don't really think we will, honestly. Let's send it. But we saw the same thing over here in 2023. Oops. October open. Oh, nice October, guys. Look at. Oh, we're below the open. It's over. Boom. Boom. Look at that thing. Look at that. That's what we want to see over here, guys. That's potentially what we're going to see. Nice October there, crypto bros. Boom. That's what I'm hoping for.
Imagine out of all times being a bear on the October open, on the October sell-off. Imagine thinking it's going to go to 40K.
I mean, there's so much support below us too. Or even if we did come back to it, I mean, it's like look at where we are right now. Like you have a 7-month point of control, 8-month point of control right below your October open. Even if you did come down there, like what are you expecting? This huge like volume node right here to just not matter? I mean, that's talk about mega demand, guys. I mean, 3 bear traps set. First week of every month of Q3. July, August, September. Huge capitulatory sell volume into this low. Held every time. Bears are greedy. Bears got greedy. They had their chance. They fucked it up. They couldn't get it down. We go up. Markets don't need a reason to go up. They need a reason to go down. You had your chance in Q3. What are you expecting now? With all of the constructive levels below you, with all of the volume and the support beneath current levels, what are you really expecting? You know? Why would you expect, like, I've seen some pretty intelligent people, right? Like some guys that I actually think are very good traders. I'm not going to name who they are, but literally calling for like another, like they're calling for this low over here still. They're
Yeah.
calling for these lows to get taken out. I mean, huge accounts, guys, with big followings that have been around for years, probably have a lot more money than us, been in these markets for a long time. Calling for, I mean, literally like one more sweep of the lows. And I'm like, how could you look at this structure? How could you look at this structure with the volume to support all of it and just be like, yeah, we're just going to like nuke and like slice through all of it? I'm like, you got greedy. You were down where you wanted. You got a 49K Bitcoin and you didn't take it. Like, you're greedy. That is greed. You know, like that is truly greed in my view. Greed works both ways. Not all at once. Guys, stop talking over each other. Come on.
Sorry,
now.
I got a text from my mom.
Guys, you're fighting for the microphone. Come on, be respectful. Everyone's yelling at each other. One at a time.
Max keeps cooking and then he is like, say something.
I just want to talk to my boys. That's all. I want to be bullish with my boys.
Bruh, what are we talking about? Just pump it already, man. Bullish.
Bullish.
No, I like people. We discuss this over and over again, and that's kind of why I want us to move out of here too, because it's just kind of exhausting, just repeating how bullish we are to some degree, and it is, right? It's like bears keeps losing every battle every single day, and they're enjoying it. You know, they are masochists. They love to hurt themselves every single day. They come on Twitter. They love public humiliation. Then they go and short it, and they get wrecked again. I do not know why, but it is what it is. I think price is going to shoot up really quickly. I don't like. Listen, the past 8 months of this range, right? Once again, we cannot be breaking to the downside. We cannot be sweeping those lows. Every single time you have a higher time frame swing, right? Which this still is from March. You know, higher time frame, let's say zone. Everyone keeps calling for a final sweep, even when stuff is starting to reverse and go up or down, doesn't matter. People still keep calling for the final sweep. And then it just keeps going in the opposite direction. Like it has happened in, even in like forever, I suppose, like 2021, when it was July, it started to go up and everyone was like, no, it's still going to come back, retest this level, did not, and so forth. The final sweep happened in August. The higher time frame one. There can be lower time frame sweeps. We had that just in October once again, the lower time frame final sweep. The higher time frame one happened in August. You're not getting another one. Deal with it. If by some miracle price were to rotate and just shoot down, it's not a final sweep. It's the beginning of a bear market. You want to be out, not buying. All right. And yeah.
Crypto Maxi, thank you so much, man. Wow. One of our most generous supporters. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. He says, "Don't be greedy. I'm so bullish with my boys. This is the final straw. Love y'all. We love you too. Thank you so much, man. Super, super generous of you." I mean, there's just so much out here waiting. I think my charts got messed up here. Let me see. This is not. Yeah, this is the one that I want. TradingView's been a little goofy for me lately. I don't know. Wait, no, that's not the one either. Where is my chart?
Where's my super suit?
Hang on. Where?
Guys, ETH is ready to break out and they will pump so much tomorrow. I feel it's coming tomorrow. It's coming by the end of this week. I feel it.
I agree. We're so close, man. We're so close. Like, I view this as just a vertical accumulation right here. Like, I know it's a sketchy looking structure, but when I look at Pepe, to me, this feels like just straight vertical accumulation. All the lows are being protected, grinding higher into supply.
Yeah, there's one key thing, Max, right? You can find lots of lower time frame reasons to be bearish on Pepe, right? Like you can look at, the sweep of the swing. You can look at the supplies, which you have correctly there. But the reason why the higher time frame downside isn't happening for Pepe, therefore the Boys Club, is because if ETH breaks higher, right, out of this bottoming cluster, the higher beta, which is Pepe, and therefore Boys Club, is going to rip higher with it. Therefore, the lower time frame supply zones are just lower time frame supply zones, but the higher time frame force is bringing everything higher, guys. And you have like last opportunity right now to position yourself basically for this, right? Then it will truly be too late. Like people been saying that for a while, but it's coming to an end.
I mean, look at the last time that Pepe really pumped is when ETH finally broke out of this range right here. Pepe started to fly. And I view this, prolonged range somewhat comparably to, the last one. Just like a really long, drawn out, multi-month range. This is ETH down below, by the way, guys. I look at this and I'm just like, yeah, you can kind of ignore what Pepe alone is doing and just go, when ETH finally gets above this range and starts moving up, that's when you see this break on Pepe right here. So you don't have to be too concerned with the structure. You could just look at it like this and go, when you break out of the range and ETH expands, Pepe marks up hard, right? Because Pepe is ETH beta in its truest sense. So understand.
Max,
Yes.
wait. Actually, what likes we at?
They're FOMO liking right now.
260 is not bad. Were you going to share something?
I was, but I'm not anymore.
Guys, come on. We need to see what Jackus, the show, we're into the last bit of the show. We want to see what Jackus has to share. If you haven't liked it yet, do us a solid. Just hit that like button. That's all you got to do. Just hit the like button. It's free. It takes 1 second. That's all you have to do. I know
Mac,
Jackus has
you just
something great
comment.
to show you guys.
Did you see this comment?
Volume bot can make any meme coin moon.
If you found a volume bot that can make a $6 billion meme coin move, I need you to sell it to me, brother.
Correct.
Pump my bags with it.
Yeah, if that works, I got some contracts I'm going to send over to you, okay?
Dude, what's going on?
What are the likes at? Come on, let's get to 300. 7 more. 7 more.
See, they just, it's in the chamber. They just don't do it.
Come on, guys.
6
Run it up.
billion volume bot, yeah.
And Will's Outlook says bears are like OnlyFans models.
What?
My gosh, Will. Oh, Will. You don't have to super chat, bro. You can just send your comment.
He wanted it to get displayed. That's why
I know. I didn't even read it before I put it up. I was like, oh, it's from Will. Okay. And
I was like, oh, a super chat. I didn't even notice it was Will until you posted it.
all right, Jackus, they ran us up 45 likes from when you said the likes weren't good enough. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
Not bad. We know they could do better though, but all right.
All right.
Last day for me this week. We will pump significantly higher by Monday when I'm back on the show. So it's time for some proper shill, right? But a fundamental shill. A shill with facts, not shill with just like up. This is easier, right? The piece of crap that
Russian Ponzi.
the Russian Ponzi that just kept annoying us this whole time. You know,
No lies.
it held nicely. Like this was a nice, release pump. It held nicely during FTX, but ever since, just catching up on BTC, underperform. Yeah, all of that. All right. But we've come to a decision point. All right, let's start first here. We've come to a decision point, and we've come to a higher time frame support. This higher time frame support is totally confluent with a logarithmic trend, and study logarithmic trends, right? Those are different type of breeds. We are still within the higher time frame range, 4-year range. This is not like the others, all right? This cycle was totally different. It was just down and then straight up pump. This cycle, once we break out, never coming below this range, all right? Right here, we are 3 times retesting the support. Let's do it like this. Let's use, what color do we use? Orange one? Orange, let's go. It's not too blue. I like blue. Right, so this is first, the capitulation. Second, the scare off. And third, the complacency shoulder, the bear trap. What happened when we were in this support, right? Capitulation, complacency shoulder, bear trap, right? What happened right here? Capitulation, complacency shoulder, bear trap. What happened right here? Complacency shoulder, capitulation, complacency shoulder, bear trap. Right? What happened here? Pretty much the same, just slightly shorter period of time. Right? So the moment we are breaking right here, right? This is the Cheeto on the door, right here. The moment we are breaking this one is kind of like right here when you broke out. You know what happened? You had 130% rally higher.
Test pump.
This time, though, once we break here, we are going to go up here again, but we are going to break this range. We might not even do this retest. Like, people should be ready. Lots of people will be looking to... What will likely happen, though, right, is that we come here to some degree. We maybe do a little You break through, people be looking to buy here. It just goes higher from here. This one was the test pump. This is going to be the big pump, right? GCR promised 10K. So now if you understand that, you want to play the higher beta. Now, let me actually put it like this. Pepe. We're gonna polish this a little. So when we were breaking right here, when we started to go up, that was the first pump for Pepe. You had reaccumulation, and then we had the big breakout, right? Obviously, if I put it non-log, it looks like this. Right now, we are being held up like this. This entire time, if I put them side by side, it's more like this, I think. This time, the whole space acknowledged the meme super cycle to a degree, and the ones that have not, they will yet to do so. And we had ETH actually moving lower while Pepe was moving higher. So the moment ETH starts breaking higher here, and you could do like, maybe something like, doesn't really matter that much. The moment ETH starts breaking higher, really, is the moment you'll see Pepe move higher. And obviously, if you look at this bottoming range, right, you can see ETH up 30%, Pepe up 100%. Now, if you understand this is happening, right, what you want to do is study the family and understand that family have been born in the darkness. Family doesn't even know what's bull market yet. Family was launched when ETH was already topped, right? Family has held up so good this entire time. And it is currently being suppressed and building accumulation under the ceiling.
Ooh.
What do you think? And by the way, right? ETH 30%, Pepe 100%, and this 300%. What do you think happens once ETH breaks this little one? What do you think happens, right? It starts shooting up. Cheeto on the door. You have last days to position yourself. Someone's gonna front run you because you are waiting for, I don't know, your football game to finish. This is coming sooner than you think. And then you can do the math on this one. Jesus, I cannot even scale that in. ETH breaks higher. You'll likely see something like this.
Yeah, that's very real.
Remember, 30%, 300%, 300%, 3000%.
10x levered ETH ETF right here.
Right now, if I just put this one in, steady higher lows. Okay. Andy is preparing for the breakout. It held the support. It held the breaker. There is no lower to go than break higher. And if I zoom in even more, then you had the last pullback here. You know, you had deviation above, retest higher time frame range, fake out below, reclaim, retest, retest lower time frame range, reject, sweep some lows, test weak hands. Today was a shakeout of weak hands. You literally don't have time. It's super soon right now. I cannot see how this prolongs any longer, to be honest.
It's just when ETH breaks above 2700, 2800, that's it. It's gone. Goodbye.
It's just
Goodbye.
data.
It's gonna fly.
It's always very long. Like, study this, right? This was the first range for Andy. Took about 47 days. The pump took about 11 days. We could say this was the high, all right? Took 19 days. This range, this whole range, we could say. Why am I on H12? It's taking 140 days. Quite crazy. The pump may happen way quicker.
The longer the base, the higher into space.
Wise man once said.
A wise man once said.
I really just think this is simple data, to be honest, right? And if you look at ETH, so let's study ETH. Let's delete all of these. This is a meme trend line, of course, right? But what's very important is a reclaim right here.
And we're still above the monthly open right now, by the way, as well. Yeah.
We are above monthly open. We faked the breakout. We faked the breakdown. People that wanted to buy the retest of this got front run. Now we are consolidating. The only question is, how much longer do you think we spend here? Maybe until Sunday, but Monday, it's likely coming. I'm not seeing this one breaking lower because there is nothing more to retest. This breakout already retested this high. This breakout retested the prior supply. It scared people. It made them FOMO. It made them sell below. The only question is, how long do you think we spend time in this lower time frame range.
I think it's like a matter of days at most, personally.
And do you, I do think so too, Max. Do you think that ETH is going to stay down if Bitcoin is breaking higher? So let me put it like this. Right? Do you really think that BTC is just going to keep ripping high? Like there are people, all right, there are people who think this is possible.
I know, it's crazy. That's crazy. to me.
Yeah.
People
So,
are very concerned with the ETH structure, and for good reason. But to them, I say it doesn't matter because we're all just trading Bitcoin through different vehicles. So if Bitcoin pumps, it will save the ETH structure. And by the way, when ETH gets back above 3,000, then suddenly it looks like a giant bear trap that we spent 2 months building. And then it's really good. And that will be manufactured by Bitcoin.
So all you really need is not actually Andy, it's not actually Pepe, it's not actually ETH, it's just BTC right now, Cheeto on the door, right? It's BTC Cheeto on the door here, which pulls ETH higher, which pulls Pepe higher, which pulls Andy higher. And that I call opportunity with a time limit on it. It's never been, I don't think people have been given it on a silver platter like this before.
It's a pretty unbelievable structure. And also to the people that are saying, yeah, I could see like 85 or 90K. I'm like, you really think that we spent 7 months ranging just to have a 25% move above the previous all-time high? That's not how that works. It's going to be like 200%. It's going to be huge.
Do you know what I think?
This is a great example right here.
I think that people also saw that this little range is going to just break it a little and then boom, like this is some of the guys on Twitter for Bitcoin right now. They're like, we're gonna break out and then it's bear market, new lows. This is what they are telling you right now. Let's put it side by side. You're gonna break out and then it's a bear market.
They literally think that too. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
It's crazy to me too, Max.
It's too late, Chimp. You missed your chance. It's too late. You can come on another day.
People should study cup and handle formation for this cycle.
Launchpad. Absolute launchpad.
NVIDIA was the first mover of the cycle. Everything is following. pretty much, more or less. Yeah, that's it.
That was
Buy
epic.
more.
That was fantastic. And that was also a really great place to end the show. Guys, since Tucker's not here, we're going to run a little promotion. There's two different options here. All right. If you want to sign up for one of our offers, we're going to give a couple discount options right now. Okay. Just because Tucker's not here. If Tucker was here, it would be a whole other story. Okay. The big, bad, huffing, puffing CFO, he's not here. So we're going to take advantage of it. Guys, BB Terminal's out right now. It's got everything you could ever need or want. Hundreds of indicators, portfolio tracking, alerts channels, everything like that. Spent hundreds of thousands of dollars building out this trading terminal for you guys, and we're adding new features every single day. And if you want to bundle that together with the Discord, where we do 3 hours a day of private live voice calls in the gold package, guys, you can also pay with crypto for all of it. Definitely do that. But here's the offer, the first one. If you want 25% off your first month, this helps mitigate your risk. If you're like, you know what, I've been interested in these products. I need a community for this cycle, which is smart. Everybody needs their community. You need your wolf pack. You need your group of guys. All right. And you're like, you know what? I've been in other groups before. I'm just skeptical to join again. It seems like a big risk. Try it for 25% off for your first month. See if you like it. You get 30 days at a big discount. But if you're like, you know what, I'm looking for something a little bit more, kind of longer term, then Jackus, put your code in the comments. Okay. Put your code in the comments, Jackus.
Right in it right
So there's
now.
two different options. There's like I want to mitigate my risk on the front end, or hey, I want a discount every single month. And you can use Jackus's code for that. So the 25% off code, guys, is at the bottom. So at checkout, you're going to put in your info, either pay with fiat or pay with crypto, and you put in the code 25 off. And you're going to get 25% off your first month. If you would rather have 10% off every single month, then sign up with Jackus's code right here, Jackus9. It's on the bottom of the screen. Now, Tucker's not here, so we're giving the farm away. All right. 3 different packages down here. You can sign up and just use the terminal plus the Telegram alerts channel. It's in beta, so it's discounted heavily right now. Or you can sign up for the bundled packages, which is the BB terminal plus the Discord, 2 different options. I think the gold is the way to go. It's very expensive, but you will see immediately why our retention is over 75% over a year. People buy it and they stay because the alpha is that great, because the sense of community is that great, because we meet for 3 hours. It's not like a group where like you sign up and you get like a few charts. It's like you get daily conference calls with all of us. We do Q&A, charts, tickers, things we don't talk about here. We trade shit coins that we don't talk about here. Okay. So 2 different options. Either you use the code on the screen right now for 10% off forever, or you say, hey, you know what? I just want to mitigate my risk because in case I don't like it right away, I want 25% off the first month. That's an option too, using code 25 off at checkout. Okay. 25 off at checkout. So you can decide. But listen, you need your group. You need your guys. We want to be those guys for you. You're going to love it. If you love Market Check, you will absolutely love the Discord and the terminal, guys. It is fantastic. I don't say that lightly. I do not say it lightly. So check it out. Links below. And again, you can pay with crypto. It's a lot easier than paying with fiat. You can do both, right? You can do both. So you can decide what you'd like to do. But we spent a lot of time integrating this so you can pay with, ETH or stables, whatever. It's great. Super easy to do. Oh, man. Tucker's here, guys. Oh, no.
Hide it.
Oh, no. But yeah, guys, 2 options. Like, sign up before Tucker yanks it down. It is what it is. And if that's not for you and you want to learn the academy, guys, you want to learn from the best, we got some academy courses right here. How to make your TradingView charts look beautiful. I put that together for free. But if you really want to take things to the next level, check out the paid course, guys. If you want to speed run your educational journey towards understanding these markets from a technical and fundamental perspective, we put together a masterclass, guys. It's got everything you could ever need or want. And again, a lot of people out there like us teaching TA for free. There's a big difference between our free stuff and our paid stuff. So if you really want to master the arts of TA and FA, this is everything you need to know. Save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money learning the wrong strategies. We can teach you the right ones. Again, the BB team put this together. It took us about 6 months. It's absolutely fantastic. All right. And absolutely last, but certainly not least, is if you're like, hey, you know what? I really like these guys. They're sharp. Boy, I wish they could just trade my money for me. Well, guess what? We can. We also have an SEC registered hedge fund called BB Wealth Management. The link to the X account is down below. If you actually want us to manage your capital for you, there's an investment opportunity to get involved with the BB Wealth Management Group, guys. Fill out a contact form from our X page, set up a meeting, and we will happily talk with you and explain everything that we do and what we can offer, guys. Onboarded a lot of money so far. It's been going very, very well, and we are certainly excited for the next few months. So good way to diversify, right? So if you've got a big portfolio and you're like, you know what, I do my management myself, maybe I'll let these guys manage some of it for me, diversify a little bit. Happy to talk about diversification strategies as well and how we can be a part of your whole portfolio. Or you could hand the whole thing over. We could do it for you. If you want to go live your life and touch grass, we are happy to manage it for you. So again, check that out. Join us somewhere, guys. BB Terminal plus Telegram, or the bundle with the Terminal, Telegram, and Discord, or the BB Academy. Again, you can pay in crypto for all this stuff, or hit us up on the BB Wealth Management Twitter account, X account. Fill out a form. Be happy to meet with you. But anyways, guys, use the two different options. 25 off for 25 off your first month, or use Jackus's code for 10% off every single month. All right, every single month. But guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe to the channel before you go. Hopefully see you in the Discord or in the Terminal Telegram or in the fund or the BB Academy. But if not, we will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Market Check. Everybody take care.